fans taken respecting players' privacy too far? Welcome back, mother. Ya girl, Danger. We are in episode 111. That's freaking crazy. I am your host this week, Danger, and as always, I'm joined by D, Chris, and Maul. We've got a full slate of hockey chaos for us to break down, some trades, suspensions, players stepping away, PWHL takeover that is absolutely shaking things up. So buckle in, have your coffee, your beer, whatever you're rolling with today, because we've got a lot to talk about. But
beer sounds
first,
great right now.
As always, we are going to kick things off with a little brain teaser. Chris, what is our trivia question this week?
Well, now.
Oh, God.
Seeing as we are getting close to the Olympics, I figure we're going to throw it into some Olympic trivia. The last time the NHL played or participated in a Winter Olympics game was 2014. Can you guys tell me which two countries played in the gold medal game?
Okay.
That's a good one.
Give it a noodle and not a Google. And
Yeah.
put
Like
your
that.
answer in the
Google and
comments.
You're grounded. For 2 weeks, no
Permanently.
You will
TV.
know. I'm
will.
a
I'll
mom.
find
I have
out.
the eyes in the back of my head.
I'm
And
not a
maybe
mom, but I'll
cameras
just
in your
grill
house.
you in
We'll
the
know.
face until
Yeah.
you tell me.
I live
That's
close
it,
enough to the NSA.
We gonna find your ass.
You can just absorb.
I can just absorb their
knowledge,
technology, their knowledge. Yeah. That's how that works.
Well, I am already second guessing myself a couple different times on that. So we will circle back to the answer to that question later on in the show. But for now, let's start by jumping into the PWHL because there's always plenty happening. D, take us through that takeover news and that suspension that everybody's talking about.
Absolutely. Well, so first things first, the PWHL Takeover Tour hit Washington, D.C. this weekend at none other than Capital One Arena, and they set a record for the most amount of fans in a U.S. stadium at 17,228 fans, which realistically is actually not that far behind their overall record, which is 18-something. And that happened at, I think it was Place Bell. So still like really fucking cool. DC showed up and showed out. It was the Montreal Victoire versus the New York Sirens. The pregame was presented by BJ's Wholesale Club for some reason. Don't know why.
You can't do that to the ladies. Come on.
That's crazy. That
Crazy
is
work.
the most unfortunate sponsorship.
But shout out to BJ's. I do buy all of my paper products from them. So like all the toilet paper and paper towels in my home. Not sponsored by BJ's, but if they would like to.
I know, we have a BJ's card too. Honestly, just give us free BJ's cards. It's cheaper.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
But this...
Can we not talk about giving us free BJ's?
I mean... Hey.
Where I'm from, we don't have BJ's. Well, we have BJ's, but we don't have the store BJ's. Sorry.
So it's okay. This attendance mark broke the most recent record that was set just earlier this season when Seattle hosted the Minnesota Frost for their inaugural game at Climate Pledge Arena, and that was 16,014 fans. So a boost of 1,200 fans, basically. Pretty cool. I will say at the game, I did not go. I wish I'd been able to. But at the game, there were multiple times that a chant of "We Want a Team" broke out. So fingers crossed, that's what we will see happening. I think that Ted Leonsis has already talked about how he wanted a women's team in DC. And Capital One hosts, obviously, the Caps. It hosts the Wizards. It hosts the Mystics. It also hosts some stuff with Georgetown University. They do their games there. So we can just kick Georgetown out because they have a whole other place that they can play. And we'll bring a women's team in. And so that's my official ruling as a member of the community. And that's
as
what's
a
going to
UConn
happen.
fan, I will never disagree with kicking Georgetown out of anywhere as a UConn fan. So
it will go from Georgetown to Georgina Town.
Yeah.
Georgina Town.
Yeah. So it was like, again, super, super cool. We are hearing that there's possibly 4 expansion teams happening. So again, put your votes in the comments down below for who should get a space. Also, I will say that as part of the Takeover Tour, MedStar Capitals Iceplex held open practices, autograph sessions, and youth girls hockey clinics with the All Caps, All Her program, which is a great program. If you are in the DC metro area, look into joining that program. It's pretty cool. And the activities were designed to connect players with fans and inspire the next generation of athletes by creating meaningful access to the sport at all levels. And then from there, let's go ahead and talk about the one suspension we had. We've seen quite a few suspensions this season. I feel like every week we have a new one to talk about. This week it is Taylor Girard, who has been suspended for 4 games, which is the highest suspension we've had in the PWHL to date. And this is because there was an incident that occurred at the conclusion of Sunday's game against the Montreal Victoire where Girard left the players' bench to join an altercation on ice. Per Rule 72.10 of the PWHL rulebook, the first player to leave the player's bench illegally during an altercation or for the purpose of starting an altercation from either or both teams shall be suspended automatically for the next 4 regular season games. So the next time she'll be permitted to play is after the Olympics on Thursday, March 5th. She's got to sit out for a whole month and a half.
Did you guys see the video of that?
Oh yeah, it was fucking crazy.
I caught the ending of the game. Dude, what a fucking scrum. That was a
We love to see it. Unfortunately, it goes against their rules for players to leave the bench. So if it had just been the players on the ice, that would have been fine. But she was the first one, so she gets levied the biggest fine. We have not seen any other penalties or suspensions for anyone else. It's just literally the first person off the ice who turns it from an on-ice thing into a team thing is punished with 4 games, which I do have to respect, though.
After the first person leaves the bench, dump it. No one else is getting in trouble. Just go. Take it. Have the 4th player do it because they don't matter, and then just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were pushing what's her name into the bench area, into the Sirens bench area, like a double team, and then it escalated from there in chaos. It was like, I mean, this Montreal-New York rivalry, I think that's what this is going to end up being, is a huge rivalry, because it's very clear they don't fucking like each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it was crazy.
Also, what a cool thing to see at a Takeover Tour is the first ever full-out line brawl in the PWHL. They set records in multiple areas. We love to see it. That is all from me for the PWHL this week.
All right. Well, thank you, Dee. The PWHL is definitely delivering the drama like it's their full-time job. And
they're good at it.
First of all,
they're good at it right now.
Now let's shift over into topics of the week. Because the NHL said, "Hold my drink." I'm going to give you more to talk about than the PWHL this week. So, Chris, start with the latest trade update.
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently, like we had said a couple weeks ago, the NHL is not waiting for the deadline. These teams are not waiting for the deadline to hit before we start seeing big names traded. January 18th, Vegas Golden Knights acquired defenseman Rasmus Andersson from the Calgary Flames for defenseman Zach Whitecloud, defenseman Abram Wiebe, a first-round pick in 2027, and a second-round pick in 2028. I believe that one of those is a conditional pick. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember the condition is it changes if the Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. And the other big one that was pretty notable that I was kind of waiting for was on January 19th. The San Jose Sharks acquire forward Kiefer Sutherland from the Vancouver Canucks for defenseman Cole Clayton. Oh, Kiefer Sutherland
is an actor.
Kiefer Sutherland? Did I say Kiefer Sutherland? Kiefer
Yes!
Sherwood. Dog. Why do I got Jack Bauer on
I was
the
like,
trade?
dude, you know what? Honestly, I'd
traded
love to
for
see it.
We drafted Kiefer. I should know his
Yeah.
fucking name.
Great at
Kiefer
playing hockey, though.
Sherwood.
Sorry, I just had to. My
Fucking
brain
Jack
broke.
Bauer getting drafted out here. Yeah, the San Jose Sharks acquire forward Kiefer Sherwood from the Vancouver Canucks for defenseman Cole Clayton, a second-round pick in 2026 and a second-rounder in 2027. This is yet again another player that is being removed from the Vancouver Canucks organization due to, well, they fucking suck. I'm a big Kiefer Sherwood guy. We lost him in the draft, the expansion draft to Vegas, one of the two players that we lost to Vegas. Yeah, I mean, I the one that I was the least shocked about was Rasmus Andersson being traded. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect Vegas, but also, of course, it was fucking Vegas.
I think we also didn't talk about on January 8th. Chicago traded to San Jose, and they traded away Laurent Brossoit,
Yes.
which was actually kind of a notable goalie to trade, and for Ryan Ellis, Jake Furlong, and a 4th round in the 2028 draft.
They are
So
doing a little bit. I mean, last
a very
night,
interesting
brand new Duck, Jeffrey Vial in his first game, who Anaheim got for a 4th rounder from Boston, scored his first goal as a Duck. So that's a nice way to start off when you score a goal in your first game with your new team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Maul and I have talked about at nauseum in Weekend Whistle about how bad Calgary is. I mean, I'm not shocked that they got us trade for him. I'm also not shocked they had to give up this much because he's their best fucking player. And with how Noah Hannafin is not exactly lighting up the team right now in Vegas, they're going to need another defenseman that's going to supplement that sort of skill. Sucks that they get rid of Whitecloud. He's a great defenseman, but maybe that'll be better for Calgary. But yeah, fucking Vegas.
But what's interesting to me is that Vegas has made a bunch of trades and things this year, has made some very questionable decisions in their hiring practices, and it's not working out for them. Like, are they still at the top of their list? Yes, but only because they can manage to put one away in overtime. They've had to go into OT like 14 fucking times this season to stand at the top of their leaderboard. They're not actually playing well, and none of these moves have realistically helped them be a dominant team. When we look at a matchup between someone like Vegas and the Avalanche, for example, Vegas is going to get their dick slapped in the dirt. And there's not even a question about it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so interesting to see them making these big swings that realistically aren't paying off in the way that they expect them to. Yes, a win is a win, but wins like that only get you so far, especially when you have to burn your entire fucking season, burning that extra energy and over an extra innings. You're not going to make it through a Stanley Cup playoff run if you are that burnt out.
The only thing that this didn't come with, which there was a trade rumor to Boston for Rasmus Andersson. The only thing that this didn't come with was a re-sign. He is still a free agent at the end of the season. But if they had accepted the Boston Bruins trade, he would have in fact re-signed with them and then traded. The Vegas has 109 million right now in cap. They have 0 cap space. So this is we got to win now, because I mean, Riley Smith, Jeremy Lauzon, Rasmus Andersson, you've got a bunch of guys that are free agents at the end of the year. Pavel Dorofeyev is a free agent at the end of the year. So like, you've got a bunch of guys that just could bounce. So you're trying to win here. I mean, good for Rasmus Andersson. I mean, getting out of that awful situation in Calgary, because it's real bad.
Right.
But you're going from one awful situation into potentially, like, yes, they're more winning in the standings column, but the locker room and the vibe doesn't seem to be vibing there either.
It's better, but that team has a lot of structural issues, in my opinion. The chemistry it doesn't seem to be there like it was before. So that's, again, defensively and goaltending wise, they're that's where they're struggling. They're not struggling to score goals.
No.
Big moves are happening all around. Speaking of big names, do you want to talk a little bit about Leon Draisaitl stepping away from the team? And
yeah, absolutely. So it was announced on the 17th of January that Leon Draisaitl would be taking a brief leave of absence to attend to a family illness in Germany, and that he was expected to return to the team later next week. Also in the statement they released, it said, on behalf of Leon, the club asks for privacy at this time. We saw a tweet earlier by Elliot Freeman, who said the Oilers announced he's taking a brief leave of absence, obviously. But there was a comment that all of us on the Pucked Up staff were kind of like struck by, and that was that hopefully when he returns, everybody continuously asks him why he left, so that when he eventually shares if it was bad news, we can talk about how it sucks that he had to share that with us. And we all just kind of were like, understanding that was a comment written in sarcasm. It just was such an accurate reflection of the state of hockey right now. It's interesting to compare that Leon Draisaitl front-loaded his statement about like, I'm attending to an illness in Germany rather than a personal leave of absence, because recently it has played out that when you say it's a personal leave of absence, that people just come up with wild ass shit.
Right.
Which is what happened with Linus Ullmark, which there has been an update there. But that's why they specifically said what it was for, which I mean, I think we all have opinions about that.
Yeah. And it's one of those where, as a fan, at least I like being that nosy neighbor, right? Like, I want to know, but I am also the person that can be very respectful of like, hey, that's your life, man. Like, go take care of whatever you need to take care of. And, like, I think all of us here, whenever somebody enters the player assistance program, for example, it's obviously they're getting help for something that they've been struggling with, no matter what it is. So it's, and we'll talk a little bit more about things later on with Maul. But like it's hard. I want to know. I'm nosy, but I don't have the right to know. And I think that that's the difference, is there's so many fans out there that feel like they have the right to know.
Well, and it's like, it's the curiosity killed the cat thing, right? Like, we obviously want to know, but we're also decent people and we have a line, and there's a line that doesn't need to be crossed. And sure, it'd be like, oh, the curious part would be, oh, I wonder what's going on. It's none of my fucking business. Like, that's Leon and his family's business. And if he chooses to share that with people, then that is perfectly fine. And if he doesn't, that's also perfectly fine, because it's none of our business. We're not family. So we don't need to be involved in that. But it's sad that it comes to this.
I think what I'm personally more curious about at this point is he's going to be out for a semi-extended period of time, just ahead of the break as well for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see what Edmonton is going to do in that time. It is so obvious that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are, I mean, at the top of their game, and they work really well together as a duo. What they're able to accomplish on the ice, they're 100% carrying the team. So do we see a situation where Edmonton folds for the next 2 weeks, or do we see an Anaheim situation who they're down 2 of their best players and have then won 4 games in a row? I'm curious to see how Edmonton will rally around Leon's absence. That's more what my curiosity is at this point. Again, that is partially because they came out and said like it's a family illness. So any extra curiosity was sated by that. But at the same time, I still would be more concerned with the impact to the team. And obviously, overall concern is I hope whatever he's going through, he has the support that he needs. That's how I feel anytime anyone gets injured or is out for any reason, that whatever it may be, physical, mental, other, that they have the support systems in place they need to make a full return.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, with them being 2 points out of first place in the Pacific too, that doesn't exactly help the playoff, that push to the lead of the division. Because I mean, Vegas, we're seeing Vegas struggle. And I don't know if you guys have seen some of the scores the Oilers have been posting in the last week, but they've been beating the fuck out of teams. So
hopefully they continue to at least beat
Right.
teams, maybe not beat the fuck out of them, because obviously Leon was a part of that push.
Yeah.
His
Right.
goals helped.
Yeah. I mean, he is a huge part of the team, but I I also hope, that the team can really show up in his absence
Mhm.
for him so that he knows he can take the time
Right,
that
that
he
brotherly
needs.
thing that like, hey, we're here for
Yeah,
you too, just
yeah.
in case. Yeah.
Like,
No, I
not
that's
that
yeah.
not to say that, oh, well, we're fine without you, because obviously they're so much better with him there, but
Right.
being able to, because Leon,
To say
he
we've
just
got it.
strikes me as that guy that will worry about,
Mhm.
Oh
the
yeah.
scores and the standings and, the hole that he maybe has left in the team while he tends to these family matters. And so, it sucks all around.
Mhm.
Anytime anybody goes through anything tough, we've all certainly been through our fair share of personal shit in the last couple of
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's no different. Well, it's a lot different. We're not making millions of dollars, but
Yeah.
it's
But I'll
still
tell
a
you,
big
millions of
concern.
dollars, I don't think would take away the grief you feel in that moment. It makes it easier because
No.
you know they're getting the best care possible.
Right.
But even then, grief is a son of a bitch.
It
Fact.
certainly is. Uh, and with that heavy situation and a little bit of a downer, let's get a little bit more down. Maybe. I don't know the best transition here. Sorry, guys. I got nothing funny. But it does bring us right into this week's offside opinion. Maul, what do you have lined up for us?
So it's kind of a two-parter. So let's tackle the first part, which kind of goes on
Sure.
with Leon stepping away for the team for his family matters, and how much transparency do the teams owe fans when it comes to injuries or leave of absence? I'm gonna go first on this one, and I would say that my biggest concern as a fan, I mean, especially being a Toronto fan because we can't keep a fucking goalie, um, because Stolarz would disappear, then Woll would disappear, and Stolarz would disappear, and then Woll would disappear. The only thing I care about is, are they okay? I don't care about what's going on. Are they okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's all. That's
Yeah.
all I care about as a fan. I don't care what you're going through. Anything past that, it's none of my business. All I care is if you're okay. Are you,
Yeah.
as a person, not as a player, not as an athlete, as a person,
Mm.
are you okay? And I think the team should at least be enough to say, hey, so and so is out. They're okay. It's their choice. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Add PR jargon and the crap like that.
Right.
I feel like if something like that was said, given the interview that Ullmark gave today to TSN Canada, I think that that could have potentially stopped rumors from happening, because they happened within 24 hours of him being, asked to step away, or with him asking to step away for the team to go on a personal leave. Within 24 hours, fans were already blowing up with that. So I think if the team kind of was more proactive with it and said, hey, Linus Ullmark decided to step away for mental health reasons, he's okay, people would have left it alone.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I have a very similar feeling to that, Maul, in that what I think it shouldn't necessarily have to be like with Linus. He recently came out and divulged that he stepped away for mental health reasons, that he had been not feeling like himself since he got traded away from Boston. Totally understandable. We all were worried about that when it happened.
Lost his best friend.
Yeah, like that's kind of tough. Lost a sense of family and a sense of belonging. And while obviously he went to another team where that belonging and family exists, it's hard to be the outside guy coming in sometimes. All that to say, I don't think it would be necessary for them to say like it was a mental health thing or anything. But I think if they just said, so and so has stepped away momentarily to deal with a personal matter, us as an organization have given them all the resources at our disposal to make sure that they are okay and that they continue and that they are, welcome back within the organization at any time and anything like that. I think if My point being that I think if these clubs put more of an emphasis on we are providing them resources, I think it would show to fans like it's okay to ask for help, because I think that a lot of people don't think that it is. And really and truly, I cannot stress enough, if you are feeling depressed, suicidal, if you're having any sort of mental health crisis, ask for help. Go get it. You will be better for it. Everyone in your life will be relieved that you went and sought the help you needed. So I think that if clubs said more stuff like that, it would possibly abate fans' like anxiety around it. But I definitely don't think that we are owed any real sense of transparency. It's exactly like I just want to know that they have what they need to be okay, and that the team supports them, and that they aren't being like left out in the cold. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Is that sense of team support and that rallying. And then also maybe a little bit on the back end, a sense of like, what is the team going to do without him? Like if I were the Oilers right now without Leon, I'd be like, so what's our fucking plan, guys?
What are we
like,
going to do?
What is our plan? Yeah. So maybe I would like a little bit of transparency in that. Like as far as business operation goes, we're calling up so-and-so. And so that people know that like there's a sturdy replacement for temporarily, of course. But that's all that I would really want. And I'm not owed it. That's like pie in the sky dream kind of a thing.
That's the biggest thing. I guess I'll be the feisty, spicy one. Fans aren't owed a fucking thing from any team or any player. They are not owed a thing. But I agree with you guys in the sense that the teams maybe just adding a little bit of zest here to be like, hey, leave them alone. And like Linus Ullmark literally in his stuff was asked about it, said he was furious. He said, and people wonder why hockey players, professional athletes are not talking, why we're not showing any sorts of emotion, why mental health in men and in women are a stigma. It took less than 24 hours from my absence of leave to try and find reasons as to why I'm gone. The people saying I'm a home wrecker and all this. And he goes, I have a wife, I have a family. And he's getting text messages from people saying, hey, are you guys okay? Like, yeah, why? About the rumor, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's like it's nobody's business as to why somebody is out. And it was clearly a big enough deal that Linus decided he couldn't be there anymore and he needed to step away. And you know what? That's fine. And I'm so happy that he decided that. But fuck people for being terrible and just creating these problems that we even have to have this conversation in the first place. You're not owed shit. It's none of your business as to why they are not being there. And if Linus wanted to talk about it, Linus would have talked about it. If Leon wants to talk about it, he's going to talk about it. Like, why do we feel like we fucking deserve all of this shit? It is such a hard time in sports in general. You wonder why, and I know YouTube might flag it for me saying this, but you wonder why there's a lot of recent suicides in pro athletes, because this sort of shit happens, and they're people too. You forget the human side of it.
What made Linus's situation even worse was at that time, he's now come out and said that like after a game, he immediately called the NHL Players Assistance Program. So the NHLPA. I forgot the acronym. He immediately called them and was like, I need help. And so the whole coaching staff, everybody knew what the situation was. Obviously, they were informed. This rumor starts, and it got to such a fever pitch that the Senators felt like they had to release a statement. And that was like, this is ridiculous. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. And unfortunately, the bombastic language of that statement made people feel like they were covering something up. It only added fuel to this conspiracy theory because it was so like how utterly ridiculous. That would never, ever in a million years, ever possibly in a potential situation, possibly quite maybe happen. And people were like, oh my God, you're covering for him. That's totally it. And so because fans created this situation, they felt that they had to respond because they were righteously pissed, like righteous indignation, 100% on the behalf of the organization and on behalf of Linus, who couldn't speak about it because he was actively seeking treatment. They released a statement that only fanned the flames, and that puts everybody in the organization in a worse position, genuinely,
because they're trying to stand up for their player.
Right.
because we gave them
Yeah,
an impossible choice.
And it really comes down to it's the like high school bullshit of rumor spreading. And that's like my biggest issue. It's one thing to like be curious about like why somebody's injured all of a sudden, like when you didn't see it. When forget who it was, but had the fork incident in his hand or whatever it was. Like
Jack Hughes cut his hand with that glass. Yeah.
And but so there can be very like almost silly, embarrassing, like, oh, I fell down my stairs and fucking broke my ankle. Like, who cares? But then there's when it comes to very serious things, and you know, we have talked often, and I like to think we'll never stop talking often about the importance of mental health and seeking help. And Dee said it very well. But you know, at the end of the day, if somebody just says, "Hey, I'm stepping away," that should be enough for us as fans. Nobody should be then taking that information and going, you know, "Oh, this is what's happening." And it's the people that say speculations or start a rumor like it's the gospel or like they know what they're talking about. And that can do real damage to people's lives.
Yeah.
Like Chris said, like these people are humans, right? And the fact that we're in a place to where a lot of these guys are comfortable enough with talking about mental health, and yes, usually it comes from after they've sought help and they're in a good place, they then feel safe enough to open up about it. And that's great because I think I have a 17-year-old son who has struggled with mental health issues his whole life. Like, you know, and I've seen how selfishly it benefits him to see these, you know, heroes of his talk about, yeah, I struggle with things too. And I say selfishly because as a parent, I'm like, I love that they feel safe enough to talk about it and can say, hey, I sought help and I'm in a better place because I got the help that I needed when I needed it. That being said, it like all of you have said, I don't then turn around and go, well, I have the right to have that information
right
now. You know, I think us as fans, we definitely need to, like you guys have said too, be respectful of their space and, you know, be thankful for when they do open up about it. But the fact that fans out there are doing so much more harm to these people, and you know, we're going to end up seeing people not want to go into the profession if we're not careful about it, you know?
Well, I mean, think about 2023 when the Chicago Blackhawks released Corey Perry because there was that incident while he was intoxicated with an employee of the team, and everyone started spreading rumors that he was like having an affair with Connor Bedard's mom. It's like, well, that's silly. That's fucking damning to somebody. That is, again, that is a person's reputation. And that's unnecessary drama that fans, and just because people want to start rumors and stuff, it's like, what are we proving? We're just ruining people's lives.
Yeah. And we're gonna end up making it to where, you know, these people aren't gonna talk about it openly. And I think, again, like that's where I feel, you know, as a parent, I feel very selfish about like, no, I want them to be able to talk about it openly when they feel like they can do it, because that helps my son who looks up to these, you know, big, strong, you know, men who dance with knives on their feet for a living. Like,
legit.
Right? Like it. And I wish I had better words to explain.
No, I mean, you're on it. I think we're all on the same page here that it's fucking ridiculous.
And I will say, too, one note about it as well. Before any fans get in the comments and say things like, well, we pay their salaries by buying merch and coming to games and yada, yada, yada. that does not entitle me to information about personal pain, right?
Yeah.
What it does entitle me to is I think that I will no longer support an organization if they hire people whose practices and beliefs I disagree with. So if it's someone like Carter Hart, like if I was a Vegas fan, I would not be going to games as long as he's on the roster because I don't want to put any money into Carter Hart's pocket, right? That's what I'm entitled to. I am entitled to change my own personal behavior if I disagree with the actions of a player, whether they be on ice or off ice. I am entitled to change my own behaviors around that. I am not entitled to demand that I know every inch of their life. I'm not entitled to demand that the staff keep us like minute to minute updated. I can ask them, like, again, if we're talking about a Carter Hart type situation, I can say, like, hey, I want you to be aware that I'm no longer financially supporting you because of this decision you've made. That's fine. You're within your right to do that.
Yeah.
But anything beyond that, we get into a world of like, you're asking for something that is not owed to you. You're not personally writing the checks. You can state your opinions, you can ask for change and let people know your reasons for wanting that change. But when it comes to personal pain, such as a death in the family, someone going through mental health or addiction struggles, that is none of my goddamn business at all.
Right.
Hopefully we didn't answer the
And
second part of your question already, bud.
I know.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Been
to
on for a
split
minute
it
about the first
Sorry.
part.
Kind of, but I feel like I'm going to be controversial in this point. So
Sure.
the second part of the question is kind of what you guys had already been talking about. And it said, should the fans be responsible within their own fan groups to protect player information? I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm saying no is because fans, when they congregate in most areas, aren't in control of those areas. Right? So if you're commenting on like the team's social media page or, like the team's Reddit or, professionally managed and organized areas and events, it is up to the staff of that event to guide the direction of what's going on, right?
Right.
Fans in any sport, in any sort of fandom ever, you are always going to have toxic fans.
Mm.
No matter how good or how bad the fan base is, they're always going to be there. And it's not up to the fans to police each other, because then you're going to have fights. Then you're going to have, high school, elementary school drama, and it's not going to work out, right?
Right.
In a situation like with Linus, the team came out and gave a statement after it was too late, which added fuel to the fire. Had they started by setting the narrative and taking control of the situation, none of that would have happened, or it wouldn't have been as effective as it was. But because the fans were left unchecked by the organization, who holds the key and the power to change the narrative and control the fans, because they're the only one that know the truth, right? Only the person who has the truth can control the fans.
But why? I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here, because I don't necessarily think that it's the organization's responsibility to police adult fans.
But you can't look at the fans as adults, because that's not what they are.
That's not how they act mentally.
Statistically, they are legally.
They are adults.
The majority of the
and
fans are adults.
9 times out of 10,
Yes,
it's the
but
fans who start the rumors to start shit on their own.
Okay, so to devil's advocate back at that, you look at a college class. It's it's a bunch of adults. When something happens, who takes charge?
I think that that's a little bit of a false equivalency in the fact that, like, when I'm thinking about this question, I'm thinking about even if we are on the Senators' official Facebook page or their Instagram comments, if I am, as another fan and as someone who cares deeply about this organization, if I'm seeing people in there being like, oh my God, Linus totally left the team because he's actually been cheating on his wife, despite like coming home and telling her all the other players on the roster who were out cheating and blah, blah, blah. And now they're in this huge, big blowout divorce. His shit was on the sidewalk, da, 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 da. I think it is my responsibility to come in and be like, either cite your sources or GTFO.
Yeah.
I think it is my responsibility as a fan to stick up for my team and to say, like, I don't appreciate you doing that. That's not something that's like welcome in our fan group. And also, so like I'm in a Wild fan page because Danger invited me into one years ago. And so I get a bunch of updates from like random people in that group. And that is 100% run by the community, right? Like the Wild have no affiliation with this fan group whatsoever.
Yeah.
It is random people on Facebook who started it because they wanted to have a place to talk about Wild updates. If I were to see something like that in that Facebook group, I would 100% expect to be in the comments being like, that's a ridiculous fucking take. And admin should take this down because you're only adding fuel to the fire. And so that is admin, but that is a fan space. So the admin is a fan. It is not the Minnesota Wild.
I believe that the group you're talking about is the one that I am an admin of.
But here's the thing, though. The admins are the ones that have to take care of it. So at that point, they are stepping into that higher level of authority role.
But we're still run by fans. We're like, I don't have a direct tie to the team to say, hey, this is what actually is happening, even though there hasn't been a public article or, notification about it. I can only say that if the team did put out a statement about it, right? But I'm not going to be saying, hey, yes, that's true, or no, that's not true, unless the team has, I'm going to assume everything is not true until this team has put a statement out.
Or someone puts a picture on the comment of, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
and honestly, like, who hasn't had a toxic relationship and ended up throwing somebody's shit on their,
literally, just airing everyone's dirty laundry.
But here's the thing, though. In that face group, how many times has something toxic or controversial came up and you've defended it? Or played devil's advocate to be like, hey, where are your sources? Like, how do you know that's what's going on?
Well, that's my job as an admin of that group.
Right, I mean, in that group specifically, I haven't seen a ton of talk, but I have seen a few instances where people are like, I can't fucking stand this player. We need to get rid of him. And in the comment section, it's like, bud, chill out. It's just a game. Or I think you're missing the point. Like, yeah, he had a turnover last game, but do you remember 2 games ago where his blah, blah, blah caused them to get the game winning goal in overtime? Like, so there is a lot of discourse in those comment sections as well. So for every toxic, like, bullshit, there is always somebody else pushing back in some way, shape, or form. There may be people jumping on board too. But because it is an open space for discourse, like that is what's happening. So again, I've never seen anything specifically within the Minnesota Wild organization because we haven't had anyone have a leave of absence in a little bit for something like this, that there was rampant speculation, but there was rampant speculation about, for instance, who's your Kaprizov, about Kirill's contract re-signing. And so people were like, I think that he's decided he wants to give up and he's going to try and join this organization because he wants to be with fellow Russian players and da-da-da-da. And so it did spark like a lot of conversation, but there wasn't any speculation that was like damaging to Kirill as a person. It wasn't like diminishing his character or the organizations. It's just like, I think that because we haven't heard anything, that means it's got to be this, right? And so it was, yes, rampant speculation, which is dangerous, but nothing that I've seen to the level of Linus and what he just went through.
Right, where that like clearly was hurtful and affected him personally. Thankfully within the Wild organization, and again, this is the one that I can talk about being not only a fan, but an admin of that group, like, it's one of those where, we have a group messenger for all the admins. Granted, I stepped away from a lot of it after Grandma died and all of that, but I'm getting back into it. But in just like, we are very cognizant of
perfect comedic timing break.
That was fucking the
So-
most perfect timing for that noise.
Have
Dallas
scored.
got a goal on the Bruins.
Oh, Dallas. That's awesome.
That's
Good.
so funny.
That was
At
good.
first,
Good
I was like,
timing.
who's mocking me already?
But so going back to like the question, right?
Right.
Which is,
Yeah.
should fans be responsible within their fan groups to protect player information? Absolutely not. Protecting player information, 100% the responsibility of the organization. Fans have no right to any of it.
I can say both sides here are true, right? Because the fans have a responsibility to police themselves, to be respectful of themselves. I mean, I could see, I could see both sides of this. Like, the team probably could have used better wording to kind of protect Linus there a little bit, but again, it goes back to what I said: is the fans aren't own a fucking thing. So like, the fans themselves should do a better job of policing themselves too.
The fans should not be openly disparaging someone's character.
Correct.
And I think in those types of circumstances, it is the responsibility of other fans. Like if I saw somebody flat out saying, I mean, I've seen people say, "Oh, Kirill's not worth the money that Minnesota spent on him." Well, I inherently disagree with that, and I would post my reasons why. Like, and then that can be a discussion between the fans, right? In whatever
I post
group.
just the stat sheet and be like, "Tell me where he's not fucking worth the money they're giving him."
Like, tell me how he's not worth it. And then, look at everything he's done for the team. Or Quinn Hughes, even. Look at
Anyone
how much
says he's
more
not worth the money needs to be slapped.
our fucking
shitting me?
our stats went up significantly since he joined. But at the end of the day, like most fans, especially when it comes to social media accounts, most fans are adults. And you don't, just because you're behind your computer screen does not make it okay to come after a person's character and who they are as a human being. You want to talk about their numbers or how they performed in a particular game, that's one thing. Like, I'm hard on my guys too, right? Like, there are nights where I'm like, guys, pull your head out of your asses. Fucking remember you play hockey for a living, But I'm not going to go about somebody stepping away and make it into a rumor mill or like I am the authority of what happens unless I become best friends with that player and can openly talk about it. Like,
I think that's the biggest thing too is social media is at a place now where people can go unchecked and say whatever they want, and it's like, unfortunately, people forget that there are words can be hurtful, and sometimes words can come with consequence. And we're literally seeing this exact scenario that you put a lot of stress and anxiety on a player who already, or for a human fucking being who already stepped away from their job to try to help themselves because they were dealing with mental health stuff. So now you want to be an asshole and start a rumor about him cheating on his fucking wife? Like, let's just make the guy who's depressed and going through anxiety and bad stuff, let's just fuck him up even more. It's like that I think is the bigger problem, is that you can say whatever the fuck you want on social media and it just doesn't, it can make problems so much worse.
I will say, I do agree with Maul that it is up to the organization to not share any player information that the player does not want shared. So it is up to them to only put out a statement that both parties have agreed to, so as not to add fuel to the flames. But because of, as Chris was saying, the nature of social media now, if it were the responsibility of, again, here the Ottawa Senators, to in every comment section that they have, to delete comments that are spreading rumors, or to respond and be like, "No, you dumbass, that's not true," we would end up in a very different situation, because it would be the same thing as that statement, right? If they started deleting comments, people would be on the conspiracy train of they're deleting comments because it's true. They don't want people to know the reality, so they're trying to hide the truth from the people. It would become that. And if they were to get aggressive in their response in the comments, it would be, why is this organization attacking its loyal fans? This is fucked up, blah, 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 not taking any accountability for the fact that they were in there spreading false rumors. So that's why it is kind of on the fans to police each other and themselves, because the organization, they're a business. There really is only so much they can do before it devolves into conspiracy land or into you don't respect your patrons. And either situation, bottom line, business is bad for the organization. So they do have to rely on us to an extent.
Yeah.
So it's like it needs to be a joint effort, really.
Right.
But all
And
of this still
unfortunately,
stems
there
from the
will
fact
always
that we're
be
not
people.
legit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there will always be those bad eggs, for lack of better words, that are going to be trolls. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great conversation. And I
Great.
think that
Yeah.
happy to engage with that more in the comments if y'all have your own thoughts and if they differ from ours at all.
Keep it
Yeah.
civil because I swear we'll delete it and start a conspiracy.
It's been a while since we've had like a very long discussion on that, but I mean, it's a big topic. Like, this is a person's life that was affected by just nonsense, you know.
Significantly
But it's also a
affected.
stark reminder that these are just people like us.
Yeah.
At the end of
they
the
just
day,
make more money
You
than us.
wouldn't
It
want
doesn't make
anybody
them
going
better or
around
worse.
spreading rumors that you're cheating on your spouse either. Like it.
Just because they wipe their ass with $100 bills doesn't make them non-human.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't mean they wipe their asses with $100 bills either.
I bet they got nice.
I don't know. Some of them might have done it.
They probably have some. They probably buy that good paper though.
Would have a bidet at that point, because I would. Try not to choke on my last.
Let her swallow her food first and not die.
I started talking.
Yeah, this is getting
sorry
deep.
about that.
She's tearing up.
That's what she
tearing
said.
up. Yeah. Oh, she's getting choked up.
Right,
She's literally choking.
Yeah. It didn't help that it was like the burnt end, like awesome part of the steak, like crust, you know? It was really a good piece.
It's like, will you fucking go down?
Exactly. Circling back to BJ's. Okay. Sorry. You said go down. I couldn't help it. Anyway, we deal with serious shit through humor. Deal with it. Let's keep things moving. Let's talk about some naughty boys, or a naughty boy, really. We have one new fine. And it's Steven Stamkos. Slightly shocked. I feel like he hasn't been in trouble in a while. From the Nashville Predators, who got fined $2,500 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Excuse me. From against Jeremy Lauzon.
It was 100% warranting of an unsportsmanlike fine. There was a fight happening towards the bench, and Lauzon was pushing, I forget which Preds player it was, and Stamkos was on the bench and used his stick to high stick Lauzon in the visor, like effectively trying to pull his bucket off with his stick while he was on the bench. 100% an unsportsmanlike conduct. Honestly, could have been more, because his stick was all up in the face, and like even if they were stationary and his stick didn't come up with like a massive amount of force, that's still dangerous AF. So I think if you just like punch him in the face, it would have been better. It still probably would have gotten him a fine, but I would have felt better about it, because at least then that's like the manly thing to do, you know what I mean?
I will always and forever preach the fact that one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part about hockey, is, you know, somebody chirps at you, somebody goes after your guys, you drop the gloves, everybody gets a timeout, and then you're back on the ice and you move the fuck on.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can't do that though. Other than that, let's talk about some injuries. Starting with Anaheim, as always, because they start with A. We have Troy Terry, who is out with an upper body injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Leo Carlson is out with a thigh injury, expected to be out until February 25th. And Peter Mrazek, I can't remember how to say his name. Lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 25th. For the Boston boys, we have Andrew Peck, lower body, listed as day-to-day. We have Henry Yokiharu.
Yeah.
Sure. With personal reasons on IR, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. And Jordan Harris with an ankle injury on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. For Buffalo, we have Michael Kesselring, ankle injury listed as day-to-day. Josh Norris with a rib injury on IR, expect to be out until at least January 31st. Josh Dunn, undisclosed on IR, expect to be out until at least February 25th. For Calgary, we have Blake Coleman, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 25th. John Beecher, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 2nd. And that's for the new ones. For Carolina, we have Shane Goss to be here. I love his name so much. I know that's not how you say it, but that's the way it's spelled, so I have to. Lower body listed as day-to-day. Eric Robinson, upper body, expect to be out until at least January 29th. Noah Phillip, concussion protocol on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. For Chicago, we have Andre Burakovsky with an illness listed as day-to-day. Teuvo Teravainen, upper body listed as day-to-day. Frank Nazir, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. For Colorado, we have Devin Toews, whatever it is. Upper body, expect to be out until at least January 23rd. Joel Kiviranta, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. Gabriel Landeskog, know how to say that name. Upper body, expect to be out until at least February 2nd. That's it for the new ones there. For Columbus, we have Mason Marchment, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. Miles Wood, with a leg injury on IR, expect to be out until at least February 4th. Dante Fabrio, lower body, expected to be out until at least January 26th. Denton Matejchuk, upper body, expect to be out until at least January 24th. For Dallas, we have Leon Bichel, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 2nd. For Edmonton, we have Kasperi Kapanen, undisclosed, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Leon Draisaitl, as we talked about with the personal leave, expect to be out until at least January 24th. For Florida, Nico Mikkola, undisclosed, listed as day-to-day. Dmitry Kulikov, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least March 17th. Cooley, no! That hurts my soul. Former Wild player. Alexander Barkov with a knee injury on IR, out for the rest of the season. Seth Jones, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 2nd. Brad Marchand, undisclosed on IR, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. Cole Schwindt, arm injury on IR, expect to be out until at least January 16th. Guess what? He's not back yet. For Los Angeles, we have Trevor Moore, upper body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. And Anze Kopitar, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. I'm like actually tearing up from our conversation, so my contacts are very angry at me.
No.
Apologize, guys. For Minnesota, we have Jonas Brodin, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 26th. Zach Bogosian, undisclosed on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. Joel Eriksson Ek, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 24th. Matt Boldy, undisclosed on IR, expect to be out until at least January 27th. And Marcus Johansson, lower body, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. For Montreal, we have Alexandre Texier. I can't remember how to say it. Lower body, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. For Nashville, we have Adam Wilsby, lower body, expect to be out until at least January 22nd. For New Jersey, we have Luke Hughes, undisclosed, expect to be out until at least February 5th. Mark McLaughlin, oh, that was an old one, sorry. For the Islanders, we have Bo Horvat, lower body, expected to be out until at least January 24th. That's the only new one for the Islanders, which is a good thing. For the Rangers, we have Igor Shesterkin, lower body, IR, expected to be out until at least January 26th. For Ottawa, again, we talked about this earlier. Linus Ullmark, personal reasons, on IR, expected to be out until at least January 24th. For Philadelphia, we have Rodrigo Abolis, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least March 24th. Dan Vladar, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 23rd. Rasmus Ristolainen, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 26th. For Pittsburgh, we have Erik Karlsson, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 25th. Chris Letang, that one hurts to see on the list again. Upper body listed as day-to-day. Tanner Howe, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For San Jose, we have Philip Kurashev, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 23rd. Kiefer Sherwood, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 4th. Shakir Mukhamadullin, sure, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 23rd. That's a heck of a name. Holy buckets. For Seattle, we have Matt Murray. Boo-hoo. Lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 31st. For St. Louis, we have Oscar Sundquist. Ankle injury, expected to be out until at least January 27th. Matthew Joseph. Elbow injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 24th. And Robert Thomas. Lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For Tampa Bay, we have Ryan McDonough, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 26th. Scott Saburian, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least January 26th. And Braden Point, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 5th. For Toronto, we have Anthony Stolarz, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 25th. William Nylander with a groin injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 23rd. For Utah, we have Alexander Kerfoot, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 24th. For Vancouver, we have Teddy Bluger, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 21st. Thatcher Demko, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 28th. Philip Cheadle, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 21st. Oh, that hurts my heart. Marco Rossi. I know you talked about him last week, but that's the first time I've seen his name on another team's list. For Las Vegas, we have Brett Howden, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. I almost forgot we traded him until I saw his name. Carter Hart, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Brandon Saad, I think is his name. Undisclosed on IR, expected to be out. Saad?
It's Saad. Brandon Saad. S-A-A-D. Saad. I know, what a monster. How dare he have a bland last name?
I was trying to give it a little flair. Sorry. Brandon.
Brandon. There it is right there. Brandon
Saad. Undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Braden McNabb, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Colton Sissons, upper body, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Jakob Demek, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least January 31st. I can read, I promise. For Washington, we have Tom Wilson, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 21st. For Winnipeg, we have Elias Samuel Samalis' son. There's too many S's in that name. With an illness, expected to be out until at least January 22nd. Colin Miller with a knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 22nd. Hayden Fleury, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 22nd. and Neil Pionk, lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least January 27th. All right. So that wraps up the league housekeeping. Chris, who's the obscure player of the week? What do you got for us?
We have it is time for our lovely segment, the obscure NHL player of the week. I'm gonna say, bro.
That was me. I missed it.
Hey, we at least got the duck. We got the duck. Good enough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My bad.
Tried to fill in. You're good.
It's like, guys, I can't do it anymore unless we want everyone's cameras to be all fucked up.
Yeah. That's my bad.
We got the duck at least. Ball hooked us up. We got one. Hey, there we go.
There we go.
We got it that time.
There. Clean
So
take.
we have a player by the name of Kim Jansson, born in Malmö, Sweden. This left-handed, I don't know what the fuck that word was. This left-handed defenseman was drafted 286th overall in the 1994 NHL draft by the New York Rangers. So normally when I make these Mr. Irrelevant picks, normally they're 2 games, 3 games, never played in the league. This might be the most successful, like, last round or last pick in the draft we've had, because Mr. Kim Jansson played 739 games in the NHL, 67 goals, 217 assists, with 406 penalty minutes. He spent his career from 1999 to 2010 in the NHL before retiring with the New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Minnesota Wild, and the Chicago Blackhawks. He spent actually his longest tenured team was between, it was the Wild.
Johnson jersey.
You did?
Nice.
So you knew who this was. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know he played up until 2010, where he played his final game, 8 games with the Chicago Blackhawks before hanging it up. I mean, the guy also did pretty well when it comes to international play, representing Sweden a handful of times. In 2020, or as of 2020, he has returned to a private life in Sweden. The Athletic has attempted to reach out to him, but he has declined an interview. I know he had a career-ending concussion, which is why his career ended so abruptly. But he has revealed that he has returned to full health since that. So Kim Jansson, brother, shout out to you for being probably the best Mr. Irrelevant in NHL history. And you have joined the list of obscure NHL players of the week.
Yeah. I loved Kimmy.
Nice.
Kimmy was a good one. That was fun. You said his name, and I was like, "Wait, is this the same one?" I know that name. Anyway, let's also loop back to Chris with that trivia question. Will you remind us of that first, and then we can maybe try to get the answer, because I forgot it already. Shocking.
The last time the NHL was represented in the Olympic Games was 2014. Can you guys tell me the 2 countries that played in the gold medal game?
I can tell you what everyone won. I can tell you the podium and who got 4th. So I'll go last.
You'll go ahead and go last.
I'm gonna be that guy and say Canada and the United States.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair shout.
I'm gonna just say it. Someone has to, right?
It was the United States and Sweden.
Okay.
But that's probably wrong.
Okay.
As a pure guess.
So the official incorrect answer, and I know this because of TJ Oshie lore, this was the Sochi Olympics. That's why it's.
Yes,
I know the
this
answer.
was
Got
the
it.
Sochi Olympics.
Okay.
Yes, this was the Sochi Olympics. So, the United States took 4th place. They lost to Finland, who took bronze. Timo Solane was named the MVP for that game, so that's the tie to Chris there too. Sweden took 2nd, and Canada took gold.
That is correct.
That is the
I was going to
official
say
result.
One
How
team, right?
how far we've come from like where we were then. Here are some notable names. Obviously, Timo Solani was still an active player. So was Marty St. Louis, PK Subban, Harry Price, Roberto Luongo, Louis Eriksson, Henrik Zetterberg, Nicholas Backstrom, Daniel Alfredson. Like, these are some
What a lineup.
unbelievable players that are future Hall of Famers. Now, for bonus points, can
Russia
anyone
was
tell
also
me
in these
who...
Olympics.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say really quick. That's who the TJ Oshie moment. The reason they call him
the Shootout King.
what TJ Oshie and the Shootout King.
Oh yeah,
is because it was for us to get to that final game. We were up against Russia, so they joked that it was like our own like miracle on ice moment.
Yeah.
And it was obviously the last time the Russians were involved in hockey in the NHL, and they did not even make it to runners up. So
it was, what was it, 11
Which
round shootout,
yes,
and TJ Oshie
Fucking
scored
insane.
11
Oh,
fucking
that's
goals
right.
in
That
a
was
row.
that year.
yeah.
I was at a
Oh,
friend's
that's why
house
I know
watching. I
it,
was like, this is
yeah.
insanity.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
insane.
That's
Bonus
right.
point. Can anyone tell me who won the gold for the women?
Canada, right?
My mom.
Canada.
Canada. Yeah. No, unless your mom's Canadian. They played the United
I mean,
States
technically, yeah.
in the gold medal game. So yeah, I
So
thought
Maul
that
was right
cool.
about Canada, U.S., just women's, not men's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was
Fair.
great
That's what I
is
thought you were
if
talking
you
about, but-
if you combine
Of course.
Danger and Maul's answers, they got 50% right. You
Yeah.
said U.S.
We'll
Sweden.
take it.
Maul said Canada, USA. You were both half
I
right.
was like torn between Sweden and Finland. So at least like both those teams were in my head,
Represented,
right?
yeah.
Isn't
You
it
know?
funny how there's a top 4 in the world that you just automatically pick from?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Shut your face.
You're no, that's like it's funny
That's
how
right.
how
Yeah.
No, I
that's
know, I
they're
know.
that good. Those are your best
You
teams.
just know. Yeah.
Shock, you just
No.
know it's one of those 4.
I mean, Russia should be up there too, but I feel like, I mean,
Wow.
2014, like, I feel like
Russia-
there's more Russian players now than there probably were.
Oh,
Russia
for
was-
sure.
used to be super dominant in the Olympics, obviously, but they
Well, right.
Oh, that's
then
a
they
discussion
kinda
for
fell
another
off.
day.
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
a different trivia answer.
That was yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll tell the story of Herb Brooks another night. Beating the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, I think that does it for this episode. Huge thanks to everybody listening and hanging out with us, even those of you that were probably screaming at your speakers when you disagreed with any of our takes. And you know what? That's okay. Comment about it. Like, let us know. I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions on things. And we certainly appreciate all of you hanging out with us for, however long this ends up being once it's edited, because, we talk a lot. We will be back next week with more chaos, more hot takes, and hopefully fewer suspensions. There's only one, but still. Hopefully nobody gets suspended in this week. Or no, not even suspended. There was just the fine. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Honestly, who knows at this point? I don't. That's for damn sure. But for Chris D. Maul and myself, we will see you all next time in the Face Off Circle.